Hello, 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 and welcome to a supplemental episode of the Nerd of Godcast. It is going to be a great night tonight because although on our Season 6 premiere, we talked about all these awesome things that have been rebooted and that should be rebooted and that were done so well, tonight we're flipping the script and we're going to be pouting and moaning and complaining about all the things that we've been done dirty on. We're going to talk about the reboots that we want to give the boot, and there's no two people that I can think of getting together to complain and commiserate with more than from the west coast of the USA, the Christian nerd, Scott by God Higa. Hello, Scotty.
I like when you think of people who complain too much, you think of me. That makes me feel great.
Top of the list,
inside.
You are the Jenna Maroney of complainers. Nobody does it better. And to my right from the Island of Enchantment, she is sometimes sassy but always classy. Lovely Lady Lismari.
I essentially invited myself when I heard.
I was in a mood to complain, and then I saw Lismari's smiling face, and I thought, "There's nothing in my heart but puppies and kittens and gargoyles. Like that's all I have
and bacon
inside of my heart now."
The feelings I produce in most people.
That's right. She creates feelings in others that they themselves don't understand. That's right. Well, we are glad to be chatting with you guys tonight. And yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about it. We went through some lists that were submitted by our Nerd of God Squad, and I want to go back to that list because we asked in a 2-question interview, what's a movie, a game, or a TV show that needs to be rebooted, something that gets you excited. And then we also asked, what's a movie, game, or TV show that they brought back that turned out to be a huge mistake? And we're going to talk about the mistakes tonight. We're going to complain.
Real quick, I do have your friend Madison, I believe, shared that they needed to reboot Supernatural to fix, I think she said, that hot mess of an ending.
Oh, wait, watch what's going to happen here. Scott's going to drop a
name drop. But my friend worked on the last season. I talked to him about it. He said he appreciates that people are passionate. So I guess, if somebody cares enough to complain about the ending, it means that they were emotionally engaged enough to care.
Yeah.
Which is a much more mature way of viewing that than I would, which would be to gather some pitchforks and some torches and burn some people down.
That sounds like a guy whose check cleared no matter what the episode ended up like. So yeah, I actually really did enjoy that episode. So shameless plug, go listen to The Christian Nerd and you can hear Jeremy, is that his name?
Jeremy Adams, yes.
Jeremy Adams.
It was my episode from the 11th.
Yeah, I just got around to listening to it yesterday. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and really, he seems like a really great guy.
He is. All right, but what are the things that came back that shouldn't have? What was on that list? I didn't hear that because it wasn't. No, she's the number one thing that should come back.
No. I wasn't saying.
I also was deeply offended. I was like, okay, man.
I wasn't saying Lismari should not have come back. That was not what I meant. I meant I was going to address Lismari and say there's some of the things on here you may not know about. Mm-hmm. So don't feel like we're necessarily excluding you, but jump in where you can and please add your own stuff. Some of this is really deep cuts even for me. So we'll get into this, but a person whose name is definitely a D&D character's name and not a real human being's name, Tibur Gall, suggested Magnum PI. Did they reboot Magnum PI?
They have rebooted Magnum PI. See, that's the thing. If it happens on CBS, I'm not aware of it at all because CBS is a television channel for people who don't really like TV. But no, they did reboot it. They've rebooted Magnum PI and MacGyver.
These are all shows from the 80s that to me seem so iconic to the actors that portrayed those characters. I don't know how you can have Magnum PI without Tom Selleck.
Magnum PI 2018 rebooted.
Yeah. 2018? It's like very recent.
3 seasons so far.
It's still ongoing?
It is ongoing right now, yeah.
On
the
CBS?
Most recent episode will be debuting on January 15th, Friday night, depending on when you listen to this.
So nobody's gonna be watching that because they're gonna be watching WandaVision. That's right. Yeah. So sorry, Magnum. Yeah. So.
But yeah, I don't know. But have you gone back and watched the old Magnum PI? It seemed like when I was a child, it seemed really slow. That there was a lot of voiceover with Tom Selleck, and not a lot happened. But I only have good memories about it, from the theme song to the helicopters and the dolphin shorts. I mean, it was just a lot shirts. Yeah, it's the
Tom
whole
Selleck's
the
hairy
whole
chest
vibe.
and magnificent mustache.
Yes.
If you want to know what sexy looks like in the 80s,
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck, Magnum PI. Yeah, fun fact, Tom Selleck was originally the cast character for Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
That's right. And then he couldn't do it because of Magnum. So they gave Harrison Ford the part. Fun fact. Christian Zadek said the RoboCop remake was trash.
I assume it was. I never saw it.
I'm not going to lie. I never saw it either.
But in defense of RoboCop the reboot, RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3 also sucked.
You know that I just learned that Alan Moore wrote like RoboCop 3.
RoboCop 3, like I never watched RoboCop 3, but I played the video game.
Oh no, was it Alan Moore? No, who did The Dark Knight? Frank Miller. I'm sorry, not Alan Moore. Frank Miller. Some other angry comic book writer.
RoboCop was the first rated R movie I saw at my friend's house that when I wasn't allowed to watch rated R movies because I was 6 or 7, and it gave me nightmares because that dude falls in the goo and then gets splattered all over the windshield of a car.
Yeah, now you grew up in a Christian home, right?
Very much so, yes.
Lismari, you as well.
Yes.
Lismari never saw network television until she was 15 years old.
I have no clue what any of the things that we've said thus far are.
So when I watched, I was exposed to all manner of R-rated and nasty stuff as a child because I didn't come from a Christian home at all. So I liked RoboCop. I enjoyed it. I remember watching it when I was 8 or 9 years old and just really getting into it. And then later on, when I became a Christian, I watched it with some of my Christian friends, and I'm like, I don't remember this being so
I have like
awful.
Vague memories of RoboCop because in Puerto Rico, like the main television channel Univision, they'll like play their afternoon movie and it'll be some random like American movie.
Please tell me RoboCop has an awesome name in Spanish.
And it's like dubbed in
Roberto Cop.
Dubbed in Spanish. I just like have like, and they all use the same voice. I don't know how to describe this, but I kind of like have, you were talking about it and the more y'all said it, I almost had like war flashbacks, like Spanish RoboCop. Like it just came to mind.
Conmigo y tu vida. I don't know, like come with me if you want to live.
Dead or alive.
Yeah,
No,
like,
that's Terminator. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Muerto tu vida.
No, there you go.
Nah, dang it. I'm bad at conjugating the verbs.
I have to like picture my chart from my Spanish one. It's like yo soy tú es usted eres. I don't know. Like that's I got to remember. I picture the little diagram. Moving on away from the Spanish conjugation. Fantastic Four. The Fan Four stick. The 20
Fan Four test. Yeah, I haven't seen any Fantastic Four movies, and what I've heard is that the first two are just fun. Like they're not bad.
Yeah,
they're not great.
They're not bad.
It's just entertaining.
And everybody in them, except for, I mean, even Mr. Fantastic, who's a little dry, they're enjoyable.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is great.
He is. In fact, when Chris Evans, like when I first found out that he was going to be Captain America, I had a hard time because I was like, I only see him as the Human Torch. Like, I don't know that I'll see him.
I saw somebody tweet now that it's been announced that he might be coming back. It's like, it's really going to screw people up when they find out he's coming back to be Johnny Storm.
He's going to be Johnny Storm. So Johnny Storm, Mr. Fantastic, or Johnny Storm is Captain America. Oh wait, Johnny Storm is Eric Killmonger. Johnny Storm, the most recast role in Marvel movies.
Funny, I didn't think about that.
So, but didn't the Nerd of Godcast begin with a viewing of the Fantastic Four?
That was our debut episode.
Really?
Yeah, back in August 2015.
How horrible.
We opened up by saying we just watched this movie and it was terrible. Yeah.
I started my podcast with Age of Ultron, so a little better place to begin.
The bar was you started a little bit ahead of time. If we had waited a little bit, we could have gotten probably a better movie. But right up the middle in Suckville. Yeah, that's the one upcoming Marvel project that if they get it right, then Kevin Feige is explosive brain next level little G god of cinematic universes because they've never made that a successful franchise.
I read who knows? But
but it came out the same year that Batman Begins came out.
I think it didn't come
out
in the right season. That's exactly the thing. It was a good movie. It just came out way before there was like room for like really good superhero movies. I feel they weren't committed enough, and now here we are.
Yeah. Is it is it Mark Webb who's doing the Spider-Man movies? Because he's the one doing the Fantastic Four movie now.
Is he?
So that'll be
Shut up.
They gave it to him. So whoever did all the not Tobey Maguire. The other kid, the little British kid. Yeah, no, the other British kid. Tom Holland. He's doing all. Whoever directed those.
No, Andrew Garfield.
No.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies.
It wasn't Webb. That was Andrew Garfield. That was the Amazing Spider-Mans.
Okay, then whoever did the other ones.
Yeah, who did do the other ones?
Well, I'm looking it up now on the internet.
I just like to think it was
John Watts. John Watts.
That's right. Yeah.
That's who.
Yeah. Sorry, man. In a sea of stellar directors, he's no Taika Waititi.
Well, who can be? And also now I'm thinking about who's the creepy guy. Is there also a John Watts that's really creepy and has like the thin face and did Heathers? Who's that guy now that I'm thinking?
John
of
Waters.
It? John Waters. That's who I'm thinking.
Way different. Way different guy.
You know what they should reboot is Heathers. Yeah, the pencil thin mustache.
Yeah, I don't know. I never actually watched Heathers. It's
me neither.
You know, but even though we're
doing a really good job about complaining about things we've never seen before.
This is a very special episode, tribute to Twitter and the internet in general. Never saw it.
I'm going to complain about something that I don't even know.
That's what Christians do, right? We criticize things that we don't. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Man of Steel. I liked Man of Steel. I'm going to have to disagree with Brent Sheridan. I thought Man of Steel was okay.
I saw Man of Steel in the theater and I liked it. Then I watched it again, I don't know, like probably 6 months ago, somewhere during the pandemic. And I really liked it. It was, I think a lot of people complain about it being so dark and dreary, but it actually isn't. I mean, once Clark Kent decides that he's going to be Superman, it's actually full of a lot of kind of hope and just the one speech that's
what the S on his chest stands for.
Yeah, hope. The one speech that Cal, what's his dad's name?
Jor-El.
Yeah, Jor-El like gives about like being this beacon of light and shining, and then like he starts
today,
flying.
It was an eternity.
Yeah. And Hans Zimmer's score plays like that. That's a great, like that's an awesome Superman moment.
I saw it like out of boredom. I just decided to watch it, but I felt like it was more of a cinematic experience. I feel like I watched it on my phone, and like that made me not enjoy it very much. But had I had the opportunity to see it in theaters, I feel like it would have given it a little more of a, I don't know, a impact or something.
It was exciting. A big scale movie. It was a big scale movie. Yeah.
But I say that, and I recently just watched a YouTube video of the John Williams theme from the original Superman, and now that I think about it, that is full of so much more hope and life than the entire movie of Man of Steel. Just seeing Christopher Reeve flying around and
just that one like solo horn that starts the whole thing out. Da, da,
is that when you cry?
I do cry when I see the Christopher Reeve Superman movie. Wait, hold on. Why you gotta tell people my business?
He was like showing me the movie, and it was like 0.2 seconds into like the opening of this film, and I look over and he's bawling.
Now I'm regretting this reboot here. I like him. I'm not bawling. Shush.
You were okay.
I'm gonna this technical difficulties. We go to the break right now.
Technically, somebody's being difficult.
Heroes. Do you remember the Heroes reboot?
Save the cheerleader. Oh no, I don't remember the reboot.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a reboot.
They did. They came
back very briefly. It was called Heroes Reborn. Heroes Reborn.
Heroes Reborn. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah. No,
I didn't either. And I feel like
I made it through like I crawled to the finish line of the first season of Heroes, and then I bailed on it.
This was my problem. When Heroes came out, there was two big shows kind of in that ilk on NBC on TV. NBC was Heroes, and then ABC had Lost. Oh, Smallville. Smallville was. I wasn't a Smallville fan.
I feel like I just remember my mom being really obsessed with Smallville.
Really?
Yeah, for like a weird period.
I had a roommate who was committed watching it live till the final season.
Smallville?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how like my mom was. She like would sit down and take the television from her children once a week to watch Smallville.
It's Superman.
You couldn't have network television growing up, but once your mom wanted to watch Tom Welling shirtless, she's like, there we go.
Completely acceptable.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I thought that Heroes had so much potential, and it just never reached its potential. Like never. Yeah. And that was disappointing. Even though there was some great and memorable characters from it. I mean, Sylar was a cool bad guy, and Hiro Nakamura was a cool good guy, and it just never took off. I don't know why they went back for more, but it clearly didn't work out for them. So now somebody submitted. This is from Sarah Johnson. She said, "Does Avatar: The Last Airbender count?" Now
the movie,
because it can't be the TV show. She's like, I'm a pretty big fan of M. Night Shyamalan, which is a hot take in and of itself, but that movie is terrible.
It is so awful. It physically pains me that we're discussing it because it doesn't even deserve to be discussed on a complaints podcast.
Why is it?
Were you excited to watch it when it first came out? Like, did you think, oh my goodness, this cartoon show that I loved from my childhood is now gonna be on the big screen? I'm gonna.
Yes, I had such high expectations of what this was going to. Whatever high expectations a 12-year-old can have, actually.
That's pretty high expectations.
But high expectations, and even in my uneducated and very sheltered brain, I was able to determine immediately that this was hot crap. A hot pile.
Why?
Of crap. Did you like it? Did you see it?
So I was watching when I was in bed for 2 weeks with the COVID, with the Rona. You had suggested I watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I did. I watched the entire season, the entire series.
Very good choice.
I had nowhere else to go, so might as well, right? And I liked it and I enjoyed it. So when I was done, because I didn't want to go on to Korra, I thought I'm going to watch the M. Night Shyamalan movie. So I watched maybe the first third of it, and I didn't have any problem with it. I found, and again, I didn't watch all of it, but I found the kids that they cast in the roles were likable. Like the kid that they cast as Aang was kind of sweet and cute. I didn't get into the meat of it. There were definitely things
because there was no meat.
Maybe.
That's why.
But as I got into it, I was just like, it's not clicking with me. It was almost like it missed the heart of it.
It had no actual Avatar: The Last Airbender story. There wasn't anything that you can cling to or have any emotional attachment to whatsoever. The people that were in it, I don't know. I think Aang, I remember he was fine.
He was cute, yeah.
But I didn't care for anybody else playing their characters. I don't know. And maybe it might just be this because Avatar: The Last Airbender, the series, is so fantastic.
You put it on a pedestal.
Yeah, nothing could really, if it's not just here's more Avatar: The Last Airbender, exactly how you love them, then it's always, I think, gonna fall short.
So if you found out right now that Nickelodeon was gonna come out with season 4 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, how would you feel?
It all depends on who's making it. If I found out that the creators, the original, they were coming together and adding a 4th season that follows the gang, I don't even know that I would be able to contain myself.
Really? Don't you feel like you've been burned before? Wouldn't you be at least cautiously optimistic?
No, I would be so excited.
Really?
I would be so excited.
Well, the creators were involved with the Netflix live action one.
And now they're not,
left.
and so all hope is lost, and I care not.
Mostly I was confused because the giant blue cat people weren't in it. I mean, that was my biggest
Yeah.
difficulty.
Well,
Yeah. Where's Ripley?
That's the other Avatar.
Where's the Terminator?
No.
Where's Zoe Saldana?
No, we don't.
She's
no.
with Star-Lord.
Do we care about that, by the way? About those they're not reboots, but those continuations?
No.
The Pandora 2 and 3?
I still don't understand why Disney made an Avatar area to their theme park, the Animal Kingdom.
Does anybody have an interest in this at this point?
I know it'll be enjoyable, and I appreciate that James Cameron created, developed, and pushed the technology forward because it's a very beautiful movie, the Avatar movie. But it's like beautiful cake that doesn't taste good on the inside. It was it's really pretty, but and they've already we're gonna make 2, 3, 4, and 5 now. It's oh my gosh, what is this? The God's Not Dead series?
Yeah, and then 20 years from now though is the thing. My children will watch.
That's right.
Will watch this movie. I don't understand why we care so much. And
I mean, if he pushes forward because that's what it was. I mean, it was the first filmed in 3D movie with all the crazy motion capture technology. So if he's found some way to push filmmaking forward again with these sequels, then I think people will go watch them simply to experience it, not because it's a good story, because the first one didn't have a good story. And I always say it's amazing that Avatar made so much money, but it has left almost no cultural impact.
Right.
People don't talk about it. People don't wear Avatar shirts. No one's
it's
not
worth our time.
No one's got a Na'vi tattooed on themselves. It's just
I'm sure somebody does.
Sure somebody does.
Rule 34.
I'm gonna grow out my hair so I can have my little Na'vi thing. And,
Yeah, not my jam, to be honest. The live action,
I've never seen The Last Airbender, so I have no idea.
The series?
Any of it?
The series. None of that. None of the Legend of Korra.
What do you mean? What?
Okay, when did it come out? 2012? I was an adult already.
Asian? I don't understand. Yeah.
That is accurate. I am Asian, but I'm also a father and a husband and a very busy pastor. So my TV watching is limited tremendously.
Yeah.
There's time. It's biblical. There's time for everything. There is time.
Turn.
For Avatar: The Last Airbender in your life, Scott Higa.
You know when I could be watching Avatar: The Last Bender right now when I'm recording this with you guys.
Oh wow!
I'm choosing to be relational.
And you chose wrong, Scott. That's what I'm trying to communicate.
You chose poorly.
Well,
I haven't even finished Clone Wars yet, and I'm a much bigger Star Wars fan than I am Avatar fan.
I've actually been meaning to watch Clone Wars. You told me to watch that.
I tried. I'm trying to be pimping that Clone Wars gospel, which I just caught up on like 3 months ago. So now I'm telling everybody like I'm old hat at it.
And you finished Rebels, right? You watched Rebels as well?
I love Rebels.
Yeah. See, I haven't watched any of that. Like Ahsoka showed up in The Mandalorian. # spoilers. I'm like, who's this? Just kidding. I mean, I knew who she was, but no idea.
So Disney remakes, the live action remakes that Disney seems to be just on a tear.
Like the princesses and all the things.
All the princesses and the lions and the kings.
Keep making money.
Just print it off. So we had a couple people suggest things like The Lion King and some other Disney live action remakes, but the one that I think is the most controversial is Mulan.
Oh my word.
Scott,
you're Asian. You've seen Mulan, right?
I spent the $30 to get premiere access to it.
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry.
I enjoy it. Was good. It was, I don't know, like
I question your judgment, Higa.
I question lots of things about my life. And very low on the list is my choice to watch Mulan. Like there are much larger questions in my life that cause me many doubts. No, like
it was like for Disney, for being a Disney movie, it was like very poorly assembled, and even the quality of it. Like
no, I enjoyed it, and I think that. So I like the Mulan original. Donny Osmond singing "I'll Make a Man Out of You" is a pristine cinematic moment that can never be recaptured.
That's your ringtone when you call me, by the way.
Oh,
really?
Awesome.
No, it's not.
Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. So like so I like Mulan, but I wasn't a child when it came out. So it's just, and I didn't even see it until a couple years after. So it's just a Disney movie that I watch and I like the music. But and so I'm not attached to it. So like when they're like, there's no, like when people are like, there's no Mushu, how can, like, you can't have a talking dragon in a more realistic telling of a story. Sure, you can have a magic lady.
Phoenix that just is there all the time.
Totally.
With no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah, but hey, don't have a singing talking dragon. That's fine.
It was
generally, as I've shared on my show many times, I accept things for what they are, and I go in mostly with the object to be entertained. And
well, you could have brought Mushu back. Eddie Murphy is literally doing nothing right now.
Yeah. But it would have changed.
He's at home, and in the morning he's making waffles. That's it.
It would have changed the entire tone of the movie. So like for Mulan, it's like, yeah, that was like the fight scenes were cool. How they like did stuff from the movie, and I'm sorry, I enjoyed it. I'm sorry.
Agree to disagree.
I also liked Wonder Woman 84.
Oh my God.
Scott. Did you guys discuss this already?
We have not.
No, we haven't.
Tony
was very patronizing though when we were texting about it, and he was going on and on about how horrible it was. And he's like, well, I mean, you'll probably like it. Like, you know.
Do I need to go to the text message record right now? No, because
you basically said that.
That probably wasn't an altruistic, like you're a very positive person. You're not a critical.
And it'd be hard to find because we text too frequently.
That is true all the time. I thought Wonder Woman 84 was garbage.
It hurt me.
So did Joshua Chalk, apparently, who submitted Wonder Woman as the worst bring back, which I don't know that I would call that a reboot, but it was definitely a tonal.
But it was so bad that it's worth to mention
change.
it right now just so we can complain about it. I'm sorry, Scott. What did you like? Try to tell me something.
So this is what Tony, this is word verbatim. I found it.
Oh.
Please don't let my opinion taint your viewing experience. I'm sure you'll love it. That is the text version of bless his heart. You blessed his heart in me, Tony.
I can hear the condescension in my own voice. I'm sure you'll love it. I'm sure you're gonna think it's great.
Love it.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was. I think my first one was a like a bleeped out cuss word about this. Wonder Woman 84 was bleak.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that. So Tuesday, December 29th, 7:10 p.m. So you didn't like Wonder Woman 84? We're about to watch it. It was. He didn't write out an expletive, but he for sure let me know that there was an expletive there.
It was insinuated.
And then he said, this was the next one. If you like, I'm sorry, I'm airing our dirty laundry. If you like it, you need to go back and apologize to Brian Webb. I think he meant Mark Webb for criticizing Amazing Spider-Man 2. Please don't let my opinion taint your viewing experience. I'm sure you'll love it. To which I responded, well, that just sounds patronizing. And then I think you brushed that aside, recognizing your patronizing tone, and you said, no, man, for real. There is a horrible Dayglow CGI lasso of truth around me right now.
Look how witty I am.
Yeah.
I feel like it's true. It was a horrible Dayglow movie.
It was.
I have
Nothing
reasons.
made sense. There was not. Just...
Like I want to renounce my wish to see it. I feel like that's the layout.
I asked him because my sister really wanted to watch it with Pastor Tony. That was her whole big thing. She wanted to watch it with Pastor Tony. And I asked him, hey, can we go to the movies to watch this? Because she loves going to the movies and I like to treat my sister. And he was like, no, let's watch it at the house.
We have Wonder Woman at home.
And I've never, like, of all the things you've done in my life, like, that was just a favor. Because had I spent the $5 that I was going to spend on Movie Ticket Tuesday for that, I would have been devastated.
You're just rubbing it in that you guys can, like, go places and see movies in theaters.
Yeah.
We live in Florida.
We don't care.
I know.
This is her first day out of the house from having COVID.
I just tested negative from my COVID yesterday.
From having it before?
I had it. I tested negative yesterday. I lived.
So no, my Wonder Woman, like, briefly, I enjoy Gal Gadot. I enjoy the character. I think I found it amazing that they were able.
You don't get points for liking.
I don't know, but I think that the way, like, they found a way to have her go on another hero's journey in this movie by having her have to give up, spoilers, Steve again. So I enjoyed that. Like that emotional
strong,
arc.
independent female icon of, like, bravery, strength, and she still hung up on a man that she lost.
She loves a man.
70 years. Even the chick from Titanic got over it.
Yeah, but have you seen Chris Pine's Steely Blue Eyes?
He's no Leonardo DiCaprio. Calm down.
Oh, come on. Chris Pine is way better looking than Leonardo
Maybe
DiCaprio.
Chris Pine in, like, 10 years ago.
Oh, like in that James Kirk uniform?
Come on, baby. Yeah. Come on, right now. Beam.
So I like that. I like Kristen Wiig a lot. I thought that character was good. And like, I was like, it didn't make any sense. I'm like, it's based off something called The Wishing Stone. It's not supposed to make sense. It's a superhero movie. So that's generally where I land.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. If you dismiss things that are bad, then you don't get any credibility for recognizing things that are good. In my opinion. I don't want to take.
Well, I'm dismissing that. So great. So any compliments I give you about your show, which I just gave you today, just write them all off. Doesn't matter.
We'll write them all off. I don't want to know where your favorite place is to eat, Pizza Rat. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of Kristen Wiig, who I do like Kristen Wiig, and I thought I liked her in Wonder Woman. Even though her character arc was not great, she was surprisingly adequate in that role.
I've never seen her in a role like that.
No,
I was
haven't
really
either.
impressed.
That's why it was fun and interesting to see.
I didn't even know she was in the movie until we watched it. I was really
she
surprised.
was devious. She was pretty nasty little bad guy. But Ghostbusters 2016, Answer the Call.
I did not see it.
That's my submission for reboots that went awry.
It's like you had you had the recipe and you have all of the yummy ingredients, and then you're me and you burnt everything.
It's like Cake Rex. It's like, it doesn't look like it did on the picture. Yeah, Ghostbusters.
Nailed it.
Really, really bad. Really bad. I don't know that this is a reboot. Dara suggested Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. I mean, it was definitely a comeback because it was so many years later. You saw it?
I think that was the last movie I saw at midnight in the theater, because I thought, I can't stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning if I'm just going to see this trash.
It was trash.
Like, I can't. Yeah, like, I can't. I mean, like, and that, like, when I originally saw it, I thought, oh man, this is going to undo all the good feelings I have for Indiana Jones. I recently watched some of the first three, and that's not accurate. The first three are still tremendous.
They're wonderful.
It's just like you just choose to ignore Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's like, oh yeah, it's just not a thing that exists.
Which is easy to do in a cinematic universe because you can kind of cordon off because they weren't dependent, they weren't interlocked. It wasn't like The Last Crusade was a cliffhanger that led into the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
So you could just pretend that the other one doesn't exist. What about a show or a movie? Like if a TV show gets absorbed and assimilated into like the Netflix verse, and they just, hey, we're going to add more seasons onto this thing. To me, the perfect answer to this thing that should have never come back that I want to complain about is one of the finest comedies ever written for television, Arrested Development. And
I'm pouring some out for seasons 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3, which were television perfection.
Perfection. Mr. F. I mean, like, so good.
Quotable. And you can still go back and watch it and find things that you haven't seen or forgot about because it's so nuanced.
But that's what, so where like I can go back and watch Indiana Jones, it's fine. Like I have a hard time even wanting to go back to watch seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Arrested Development, even though I know they're tremendous television, because seasons 4, both versions of season 4,
and then chronological season 4.
And the first half of season 5 left such a bad, like I haven't even gone back and finished season 5.
I didn't either.
I don't really care who killed
myself.
Lucille too. Like it doesn't matter. And you know, we all make choices and put on some pounds. Will Arnett put on a bunch of pounds, and like they couldn't be in the same place, so they're all
Rossi switched out her entire face.
Yeah, she got Ellen yelled at her and made her get a new face. Like, I mean, it's so bad. And do you remember the excitement that people felt? Like, I mean, even looking back, like, remember in season 3 when they're talking about the home buyers organization? Yeah, HBO isn't gonna rescue us, and like they're making those jokes,
all those jokes
about the show being saved, and then it gets saved, and I people are excited. They were having parties. My cousin was a huge Arrested Development. Like he had a watching party, and he dressed as a Never Nude. Like people were excited about
with our college group for years. We would have a Cinco de Cuatro party every year. And I think,
is that where that's from? I didn't know. I thought
all the white people in Balboa Beach wanted to have their own celebration, and so they made Cinco de Cuatro so they could do it with all of the brown people. Amazing.
What?
I'm
constantly finding out that the things about you that I thought were cool are actually just from movies.
Yeah, well, that's we annex the things that we love. But yeah, Arrested Development. Now, Netflix has done this with a lot of shows where they bring them back, or Netflix or similar streaming services. Some people don't like the last season of Community. They say Community ended season 5, then Yahoo got it and added an extra season on. And you never watched it?
I did not finish Community at all.
Oh, that's a shame.
Like when Dan Harmon left, I stopped watching.
But he came back.
I know, but I haven't finished it.
Oh, yeah.
But now I have to watch Last Airbender before I do that.
That's right. That's
priorities.
So Lismari will eventually respond to a text message that I sent her.
It's really hard to get that to happen.
Yeah,
but I know.
It's like a.
I don't feel any ill will towards you.
Lismari, you are an expert in this one. Netflix brought back the Gilmore Girls.
You know how hard this is for me to talk about.
The Gilmore Girls.
Oh, that's right.
A year in the life. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Why is this disappointing?
It's just like, again, back to like the ingredients, and then the cake was nasty, right? Like it was just, it hit all of the marks in nostalgia. Like if you're a big Gilmore Girls.
Wait, how do you say nostalgia?
You just said nostalgia. It's the Spanish way to say it.
How is it?
It's like a nostalgia.
Do you pronounce the
ja?
The G like a J?
J like a G. G like a J. Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. That's stupid.
No, when you said it like that, Lismari, you sounded like a comedian of color, like doing a white person impression. Like you saying nostalgia like that sounded like
such a strong feeling on nostalgia.
But you saying like, well, my nostalgia and my loafers, like that's what you sounded like.
Well, point being that if those feelings, like those, for that, it's really good because you have all like right from the beginning, like the first episode, it's like here's Stars Hollow, and here's all the characters. Literally everyone you love just happens to be in the same place at the same time, and they're all walking around, and it's snowing, and it's magic, and you just feel all the feelings, and it's really beautiful for a few moments, and then the show continues and becomes so stupid and pointless, and there's a whole episode that's like, hey, we're gonna take this 4-part. We're giving you 4 episodes, and one of the 4 episodes, it's just gonna be a random musical that has nothing to do with the show, and it's just Sutton Foster the entire time. I don't even know what it was about. It was Sutton Foster and a one-woman musical for 40 minutes of a 50-minute episode. What did that give me? Nothing.
Something to complain about. Something to
Anger.
complain about. You know?
Hate in your heart.
Anger, bitterness. And it hurts me because it was written by the Palladinos, and I love the Palladinos. If I could write like Amy Sherman Palladino, I would be so happy. That's like my dream.
So we tag her in this.
It hurts me. It physically hurts me that I can't even be like, oh, well, if Amy had done it, it would have been better, because she did do it and she sucked at it. It makes me
I'll add to my list. Season 9 of Scrubs is something that just shouldn't have happened.
I concur.
At all.
And you know, the thing is, at the very end, I kind of got like a little twinge of what it could have been. It was good from the beginning, but it just never was. It seemed like it wanted to hold on to the old and just slowly trickle the new down our face until we were annoyed by it. And then by the end, we're like, oh, they could have, and it's over with.
Yeah. And because the season 8 ends so perfectly, that's a perfect
9
season finale.
Seasons of Scrub? I had no idea there's that many seasons of Scrub.
Well, there was 8 and then one terrible one. Yeah.
There's 8. So no, there's 8 seasons of Scrubs, and season 8 ends perfectly. It is a tremendous end to a television series.
Yeah. And
that's where it ends. There's nothing else. Like JD doesn't come back to middle school. Turk's not a teacher. There's not, Dave Franco running around. Like, that didn't happen.
One of my favorite things, it was at the end, the last season, I think, of Community, when Donald Glover was about to leave. So he was only going to do like the first 3 episodes of Community. And they were in the show talking about Scrubs and how Zach Braff left Scrubs. And Donald Glover, he gets all mad. He's like, how could he leave that show after all it did for him, knowing that he was going to Community. I love inside jokes like that. At least the self-awareness.
And like the boat that he went off on at the end was the Gambino, or like something like that. It was funny.
Yeah.
Let's get the kids involved in this. You've watched it. You talked about in your last episode, Tony, of the Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Which many people are into as reboots. So that's one that you're okay with?
I like Cobra Kai. I think they bring just enough elements of the original movie into it that you feel the nostalgia, but they explore more. Like there was nothing in the way of a deep character study in the first Karate Kid movie. It was just, hey, that guy's a bully. Hey, I'm the underdog. I'm going to learn how to step up and fight for myself. Wax on, wax off. And that was kind of what Karate Kid was. And that was fine. We knew it. It was like, the kid version of kind of Rocky, just like, hey, I'm outgunned, outmanned, and I'm going to come back. It's the comeback kid. But this one is sort of the flip the script of, we're looking at characters, we're seeing the things that drove them and understanding them a little bit better. But my biggest problem, I just finished season 1 of Cobra Kai, so I'm a little late to the party, is I can sum the entire season up in the sentence, if you would just listen to the other person, you wouldn't have to punch them. That was it. Like, it was all just like one layer upon layer upon layer of misunderstandings and people not knowing the whole story. And if that happens once or twice, you get it. You're like, okay, I can see that. But that was literally like, this character doesn't know what this one's thinking, and this one doesn't know what that one said, and this one doesn't know this one's intention, and because you have sort of this shoelace connection between, well, he's his student, and he is her boyfriend, and she is his son, and he is his son, and he is being taught by him, and he is the enemy of this guy. It's all so interconnected, and it's just, it seems like it stretches the limits of credulity. But again, I didn't go to Cobra Kai for credulity. I went to see people, punch each other and stuff. But it's enjoyable. I do like it.
I'm looking up, Business Insider has a list of the 27 reboots from worst to first.
Are you cheating right now? I feel like you're cheating.
I'm just looking, not all the time. They just have a bunch of them on here, so I'm just looking at them. There's some good ones on here. Oh, they have number 8. They liked the Gilmore Girls there, Lismari.
That's a lot of people do, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, and there's things, people that like certain things, and I go, okay, I don't appreciate it, or I don't get it. Like the Star Wars sequels, the prequels, and then and I don't like the prequels, but I do like the sequels, 7, 8, and 9. And then there's people that hate the 7, 8, and 9, and I don't know. And I mean, I guess it's just kind of to each his own, but I don't know. Like, what is it that causes us such venom when we think about it? Is it that is?
I think the more beloved it is to you, like the more it means to you, the pickier you're gonna be, obviously. So like, I don't know. Or maybe the more gracious. I guess it depends the kind of person you are. Maybe I'm just really bitter. So like in general. So with me, Gilmore Girls, I was gonna
actually this has been a 40-minute prelude to Tony and I having an intervention about your bitter heart.
Yeah, so we really want it. We brought you here today to talk to you.
Never worked before.
It's only entrenched me deeper in my bitterness.
Right. Fear leads to anger, and anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Well, if there's anything else that you want to complain about, Scott, we're here for you, man.
I just think that Lismari hit it. I think it depends on kind of like, I think there's the quality of something and then how much you liked it. And if those things are both really, really high, then it's expectations, right? Everything in our life is dictated by the expectation we have of it. If we have low expectations for something, then it's like, hey, that was great. If we have really high expectations for something, then there's a greater chance that we'll be
like Cars
disappointed.
Too.
Oh, I dislike Cars 2.
I decided that while I was in my Rona, I decided that Cars 2 was my favorite of the Cars movies. I'd never seen them.
And she's wrong.
But it's because you set my bar very low when you told me that it was the worst. It wasn't.
Cars as a franchise is just the worst.
Like, you're wrong. I like
Cars. Cars is dumb.
Cars is like my least favorite of the Pixar like branches. But I will say, like, when I become passionate, I become very passionate. So like Cars, I watched all 3 of them, and then I looked up every like Cars short and every Mater's Tall Tale, and then I watched a bunch of Pixar documentaries. That's all I did while I had Rona, was learn about Pixar and then everything I could about Cars. So
you guys, make it sound not that bad. You're having the COVID. You just watched a bunch of
it
movies.
was a nice little vacation.
Catch up on your back catalog, Yeah. So I think like the one time the most upset I've ever been going into something or out of something was the movie Ultraviolet. It was directed by a guy named Kurt Wimmer, who directed the movie Equilibrium. I don't know if either of you've seen it. Yeah. It stars Christian Bale and I forget who else, but it is a tremendous movie. Equilibrium is spectacular. And then his sequel his follow-up was coming out, Ultraviolet, starring Mila Jovovich, Leeloo Dallas Multipass, and I was so excited. Like I was excited, like opening night, and it was the worst movie I've ever seen. Out Fifth Element references.
Yeah, like I was so, and it was horrible. And that's the most angry I've ever been walking out of a movie theater. But I feel like that's how people respond to just like every movie they see. It's like it's the angriest they've ever been about watching a movie, and that's generally what I'm opposed to in my life of an online person.
Paranormal Activity was the worst sequel.
Why would you watch that?
Why would you?
I don't know.
You saved, girl. What's wrong with you?
It was like we used to have a dollar theater. Remember, there used to be like a dollar theater.
Yeah.
I went to the dollar theater with my friend.
That's great. You sold your soul for $1. Judas did it for 30 pieces of silver. Good job.
And I walked out in the first like 15 minutes, not because of Satan, which also was a good reason, but because it was just so bad. It was such a poor quality film. It was making me like nauseous. So I just had to. And maybe it wasn't the film. Maybe it was Satan. I don't know.
It was Satan. It was just
the Holy Spirit was convicting you.
The Holy Spirit was just drawing you out, compelling you. I didn't know that I wanted to be super, super spiritual about this, but do you think that when people walk into church, I'm kind of going off of what you guys said, your expectations being so high or being very concrete in their definition, do you think that when people encounter Christians, they have an expectation of the way Christians are supposed to think or the way Christians are supposed to act, and that affects our witness adversely?
Yes. Well, I think Christians are the thing that most affect Christians' witness adversely. We can't put it on those outside. But a lot of time, I mean,
they talk about loving Jesus, but they're spending dollars to see demon movies.
I think that generally, yes, Tony, agree with you. But I think that, Christians are most known for what we're opposed to, not what we're for. We're anti this, we're anti that, we're anti that, instead of being for love, for justice, for peace, for hope. And so I think that's what we work against actively. And so, so am I going to be a person who's just so like the gap for like communicating to somebody and like inviting somebody to church, like you have to do so much more legwork than like in the 50s or 60s. Like, yeah, church, whatever. I kind of know Jesus. Now it's like, not only do I not know Jesus, but I don't like him. I don't like his followers. And so I think there's a larger gap there.
Especially right now.
Especially right now.
It's
like, well, West Coast to East Coast, especially the southern part of the country down here.
Yes.
Very different perspectives, but people really equate religion with politics now, and that's one way to unite everybody, right? Is talk about who you voted for. And there's so many different reasons why we disqualify ourselves, and there's some great talks about like how Christianity has sort of walled ourselves off from the world. We've kind of taken our ball and gone home a little bit, and that we complain about, and I say we, certainly not all of us, but we complain about things and we say what we don't like, exactly as you said, Scott, instead of actually by commission going out and doing the things that we're called to do. What do you think that people should know Christians for? Like if you wanted to be known for something as a follower of Christ, what should be the thing that people associate with us?
Grace. And I feel like the opposite of Christianity right now is acceptance. Or what people think of when they think of Christianity is the opposite of acceptance. People don't, if you're Christian, then you're full of hate and you're judgy and you exclude people who aren't perfect and don't believe what you believe. And so that's what Christians are, right? We're just the bad guys who, if you don't follow all of these rules and meet all of these expectations, then we don't care for you at all. We're not accepting of you. That's why the liberal culture is like, we're accepting, we're all, like it is what it is. And I think that like hurts my heart a lot for Christianity, because literally Jesus is like the most accepting, like person, the most accepting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like me with Clone Wars. I didn't watch it for years and years and years, but now I watch it and I get to look down on all the people that haven't. It's like I'm
a real Pharisee when it comes to Clone Wars.
But we all got into this thing through the gateway of grace and acceptance, and then as soon as we get in, we're like. And Jesus straight up told stories about that. It's like, you got the servant that he got forgiven this big debt, but then as soon as he sees someone else,
it hurts my heart for God, for Jesus, because it's like he literally loved you so much. He loved you more than he loved him. There's this really nice Spanish worship song, and I've been listening to it, and it's really nice. I kind of had this whole little moment because the whole song is like, I love you, God, more than I love myself. That's like the big chorus. Like, I love you, God, more than I love myself.
En español, por favor.
No.
Okay.
And then, but I was thinking, I'm like, well, or I love you, God, more than I love my own life. And like, that's literally the embodiment of Jesus. He loved you so much. You sinner, you person who, lives your life, does whatever you do. I loved you so much. I gave my life for you. And Christianity has given Jesus this reputation that he did literally not a single thing to deserve. That, no, I love you, but like conditionally, and also if maybe you get your act together and you kind of do the things I want you to do. And that's not a Jesus that's in the Bible. Jesus was like, hey, you person that's different, and
I'm gonna come and like, seek and save you.
I literally love you exactly how you are. And it just hurts my heart that that's the identity that we have created, is like, no, if you want to know Jesus, if you want to know God, if you want to be like, okay, then you need to like change all of these things. And because that's who we are, we're the worst. And that's not accurate.
There's a book we're going through as a church called Growing Young, and it's about kind of next gen ministry. And it talks about this idea, it talks about identity and purpose a lot, and that what resonates with next generation. But it talks about this pathway, and what we've set up in the church is this: if you believe what we believe and behave like we behave, then you can belong. Mm-hmm. And that's totally backwards. It should be exactly. You belong. And then we'll help you believe what we believe, and then behave how we behave. And so we just, like Tony said, we built up all these walls. It's like, once you look like us, act like us, behave like us, then you can be a part of our community. Versus be a part of our community.
It's not our job
and then we'll figure it out.
It's not us Christians. It's not our job to go and find people and try to like make them like right or fix their lives or whatever. Like literally our only job, the one job. We had one job, and it was to love people enough that we can show them Christ, and then he would handle the part that comes with the fixings and the getting their act.
And Jesus literally says in John 13, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." And
there's a great song by one of the most sarcastic Christian music writers of all time, Steve Taylor, who you may know him best as writing and producing some of the better Newsboys songs from the late 90s. But one of his most famous songs is called "I Want to Be a Clone." And he's telling about the story about coming into the church and becoming a Christian. And he says, "I asked the Lord into my heart. They said that was the way to start, but now you've got to play the part. I want to be a clone. I'm grateful that they show the way because I could never know the way to serve him on my own. I want to be a clone. They said that I would fall away unless I followed what they say. Who needs the Bible anyway? I want to be a clone." And you begin to share it, and it's like we have this culture of we have established what God is like. He's like us. And God created us in his image, and then we're just returning the favor of making it. Well, Jesus, of course, it would say, "Yes, I eat Chick-fil-A. Of course I do. I'm Jesus." No, I don't hang out with those sinners over there. I don't go to those places. I don't say those things. I don't do those things. I'm Jesus. And we've made him into our own sort of Western ideal. And in doing that, we've accidentally created a great big chasm and put a lot of people on the other side. And I'm not trying to criticize the church. It's not the church's responsibility, I think, to change that. It's the individual Christian's responsibility to change that, because that's where the commission fell to. Jesus didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to leave, so create a church that you can invite a bunch of people to." He said, "Go into all the world." And when we go, we have to go in his power and in his character. And that's the way to do it, I think. We were created to be a reboot of Jesus. I know that sounds weird, right? But that's why he gave us his Holy Spirit, so we could walk in his power and his authority and go be him in this world. And we're all pretty crappy reboots of Jesus, I think.
Constantly. I've got to go get my son. He's screaming. So,
Gotti, thank you so much
for keep talking. I'll go get him and bring him back here, and you can see him. He can be on your video, or we can sign off.
I was gonna sign.
I'll go we can sign off, but Lismari, I'll bring him up so Lismari can see him. I'll be right back.
Thanks, Scott. Doritos, not a sponsor.
Oh my god!
Hello, JoJo.
Oh, he looks like I feel all the time.
Probably get a little feedback, but
that's okay, man.
This way, Scott, JoJo can hear you.
Tell the people, where they can find you on the internet, Scotty.
You can find me on the internet at Scott Higa, or just go to thechristiannerd.com, and I am there.
Lots of good stuff. Where can people find JoJo?
On my Instagram at Scott Higa. I will often post pictures and stories of him being adorable.
Adorable.
JoJo, do you make any noises?
He was just making lots of noises. He gets pretty shy when there's other people around, but it's adorable now. He does this thing when I walk inside. He goes, "Boo!"
He's got a little smile going on.
He's like,
there.
"Yeah, I do that."
Hey, JoJo, who's going to put Clara to bed tonight? Usually he'll say, "Me!"
JoJo, hi.
Say bye.
Bye.
You say anything? No, you're just going to stare.
It's okay. We'll be friends now.
He works best on a visual media. That's okay. Track with us with the new...
He's wearing an Avengers shirt, so...
Come and listen to all of our Nerd of Godcast action, minus Lismari, who is going to pursue her academic goals.
I was here for the chips.
She just came for the...
Seriously, I will be your #1 patron if you do a Puerto Rican news podcast. I'll edit it. I'll post it. I just want to hear it. Okay, I probably can't do that. That's too much committing. But you should make one.
This from the guy who doesn't have time to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No, you need to organize your life, and Avatar: The Last Airbender needs to...
You know why I haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
JoJo, did you show him when I made one time, Tony, I don't know how, there was like a picture of JoJo. It was really cute. Oh, no. I had seen it on social media, on Facebook, I think. And his head looked so perfectly round. I took it and I put the little arrow on And like I said,
He loves it. Look at it. He's very excited about that.
and I drew the little arrow on his head in blue, and he looked perfect. It was great. I still
I'm glad
have
you're
it on my
making
phone.
memes of my child and sending them out.
It was great.
Yeah, very good. Well, we love you. We love your kids. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you for doing all the things you do, and we appreciate your ministry, man.
I'm really glad we had this short conversation about what we don't want rebooted.
We got snowballing about the things that we hate, so there we are. So
It happens.
good night, Scott.
Wow.
Good night, Tony.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
Lismari.
Hasta luego.
Good night, JoJo. Bye.
Jojo.
Bye.
Bye, Jojo. Bye.
All right.
He's like, I'm not jumping through hoops for you, fat man.
We FaceTime Tony though, and you smile at him.
It's me. Babies will like me.
Yeah, he's intimidated by her Latina-ness. Look at he's giving you side eye right now.
I'm gonna he has not had that much opportunity to be around
Brown
of Latin
people?
descent. Yeah, hey, I'm sorry. We're in a quarantine. We don't go anywhere.
Okay.
So he's seen a lot of white people and a lot of Asians.
And it's all he knows.
Well, put some Dora on for him. Good night, guys.